A well-defined value proposition can help company connect with its target segment. And it can create that connectivity which can turn an individual from the target segment into your customer. And it triggers that buying behavior in the minds of the customer whenever customers are evaluating brands or company in terms of value they are seeking. So why company has to go for value proposition? Why there is a need for that? As we all know that success of any company depends on its ability to create and sustain relationship with its stakeholders. And customers are also one of the stakeholders for the company. Right? So company has to create that relation. They have to build that relationship with its customers. They have to communicate what they will transfer in terms of value whenever an individual becomes a customer for the company. Irrespective of nature of the relationship, it demands value creation. It demands value creation from all the people involved in relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's personal. So is the case here. So here, when company develops its relationship with its customer, they need to communicate the value they will create in the customer's life. Because whenever an individual turns into the customer, that individual, that customer, brings value in the company's portfolio, that adds value in the company's portfolio. By what? By transactional value. And when an individual becomes a customer for a company, that individual becomes the part of the market share. So an individual also adds market share in the company's portfolio. And if you keep all other factors constant, then obviously market share adds value in the company's portfolio. So when customers are doing all these things, adding value in the company's life, company is also responsible to create value in customers' life. They do that, but that has to be communicated. The company cannot communicate with its customer on individual basis. That's why they release official statement in the name of value proposition. What it says, what is value proposition we are discussing about? It says it's a promise. It's an official statement from company side that promises to its customer that it will deliver value or bundle of value to its customers. It says that what customers will achieve or receive in exchange of their transactional value which they are adding in company's portfolio. This is what value proposition is about. Why there is a need for that? As I told you, it develops the relationship with the customers. And what are the tools for value creation? What are the tools a company can create value in the lives of its customer? A company can create value in terms, you can categorize in three types. Company can create functional value. Company can create emotional value. It can create psychological value in the customer's lives. What is functional value? When a company promises to increase productivity, efficiency of an individual, you can say it as a functional value. Right? Like Apple iPhone, what it does, it is known for its technology and its design. Its technology and design brings efficiency. Right? It's easier to handle, easier to use, and that usability brings value for the customers. This is what functional value you can say. right? So here, this one, Apple, I've given you an example. What is emotional value? How company can bring emotional value? Whenever company's product reduces fear, builds up confidence, reduces anxiety, where it deals with the emotional aspect of the individual. You can call it as a emotional value. Right. So here, let's have some example for this. Like, I'll give you example for the Facebook, how it brings value in the customer's life. Facebook is a social platform which helps you connect with your relatives, with your friends and family. It helps you be the part of a community. So whenever any individual joins this community, they can connect with their family members, the person they want to connect with. So here it develops a community, and as humans are a social animal, we like to socialize, we like to share things, share our ideas, share our lives, incidents, happy moments, bad moments, upset moments. So being a social animal, we like to socialize and we like to share our our happenings of our life. So here, whenever any good thing happens, whenever you know how it brings value, whenever you are updated what your family members are going through, what they're doing, then obviously somewhere it brings confidence, or it brings connectivity with your relatives. And when you are aware of the situation of your near one and dear ones, you feel relaxed, you feel better, you feel updated with their situation, right? And whenever people share their happiness, they find the support, they find the togetherness from the people around in the social community. They find people are joining the moment of their happiness, and it extends and it multiplies your happiness. And whenever people share their upsets with you find support from the people in the community. You feel strengthened. You feel motivated. You feel that people are there to help you out. So these kind of things, bring emotional support. It builds one emotional ecosystem where people find support from each other. They feel updated with their relatives and their near and dear ones. This is how it brings. This is Facebook I'm talking about. Let's talk about the Volvo. What Volvo does, what Volvo talks about. Volvo talks about safety features. And most of you might be having awareness that this safety seat belts were first designed by the Volvo, and they even didn't claim it for patent because they felt that safety is the right of every human being. Right? So safety belts brings what? It brings safety features. It brings some sort of security in the minds. And when you feel that your people who is driving and who is using the car is safe, then you feel there is a less anxiety in your mind. You feel secure, you feel safe while being inside the car. That brings safety features. It reduces your anxiety. It reduces the fear. This is how Volvo brings value for its customers, though it has other values as well, which it brings in the customer's life, but it focuses on this part. This is emotional value I'm talking about. Right? If you talk about the Uber, what Uber does? Uber reduces your effort, what you put on to book the cab. If you book the cab in conventional way, then you have to go outside, you have to wait outside, irrespective of the weather type. You have to go outside and wait for the cab. You have to negotiate over there. Right? These are the things, efforts you have to make. Uber helps you reduce the effort. You can book the cab, you can choose the category of the car, which segment of the car you want to have ride in. So it gives all these features. It reduces the effort. You don't have to go outside and wait in the queue for the cab. Wherever you are, you can book the cab from that point, and you can choose your destination. It saves you time. You don't have to go outside. You don't have to wait. You can book your slot, and you can continue with your work, what you are doing, and your cab will be at your doorstep, at your place, the time you have booked it with. So this helps you save your time. It simplifies the process. Just through the simple app, you can book the cab. Right? So it also brings transparency. With the app, bills are auto-generated. You don't have to do negotiations and all these things. You can book the cab. You can feel the experience of simplifications. It simplifies the process. This is how it adds value. It has functional value. It has somewhere emotional value. And with that experience, you also feel psychological value as well. So now I'm coming to the psychological value. What is psychological value? Whenever any company tries to add value in the customer's life through a status, a reputation, pride, then you can call it as a psychological value. If you remember the advertisement of Bajaj Avenger, what they used to talk, what they used to display in the advertisement, they used to display experience a person driving a bike in the mountainous region. It used to have a tagline, feels like God. What God does, it rules the world. So somewhere Bajaj Avenger was trying to communicate the status symbol. It will add a status in your life. They were talking about that. They were focusing on the experience, though it has other features as well, other benefits as well, but they focused on what they advertised. They advertised the experience, seat comfort, the pride you will feel while driving it, like ruling the road, the comfort it gives while driving. So that is what their motive. They focused on psychological value in the customer's life. If you remember the famous Onida ad, it used to talk about what? It used to talk about, its tagline was, owner's pride, neighbor's envy. It used to say that if you own Onida TV, you will also own the pride. This is what they are trying to communicate. Right? That advertisement somewhere brought curiosity in the minds of the customer. That ad was very fine ad, and it was very successful ad. This is how company can bring value in the lives of its customer. But how to define value proposition? It's a strategic move actually. It's a strategical call that company has to take. So any strategy depends on the inputs. Without inputs, you cannot have a strategy. So what input a company should pay heed to before defining the value proposition? Your target segment, the first thing. A company must evaluate the target segment meticulously. What are the value drivers of the target segment? What is the interest of your target segment? What they want? Let's have just a small example. They want discounted or price, or they want quality. Are they innovators or are they followers? So you need to understand your target segment. And one more thing you have to understand here. Whenever you are analyzing the value drivers of the target segment, you must understand and evaluate the population size as well. The acceptance of the particular value in the population size matters. If value driver is, intensity of the value driver is very high, but its population size is too small to do business, then you should ignore that value driver. You should go for the value driver which is having the sufficient population size acceptance so that you can do your business. So you have to understand and you have to pay heed to the ratio of intensity of value driver and the population size. It has to be in a proper ratio, sufficient enough so that you can do your business profitably. You have to understand the differentiation point. This is also one of the, you can say, core ideology behind value proposition. Differentiation. How you can create differentiation from your competitors. What your competitors are adding. What they're adding the customer's life. It's not necessary you have to do, if they're adding something good, you don't have to add that part. But how different you can be from your competitors. What new things you bring in the customer's life. You have to focus on those parts as well. Differentiation will also add the recall value in the minds of the customer. And that recall value will surely help you get into the bucket list of the customers. What is the cultural aspect of the target segment? Because culture has impact on the behavior and psychological attitude of the people. So you must pay heed to that. You have to understand the cultural aspect of your target segment, which culture they belong to. Right. Target segment is important, cultural aspect is also important, differentiation is also important, and what is also important is that core competency or core capability of your company. Where is the strength of your company? You should not ignore that point. Turn your strength, core capability or competency, extract the value your core competency or core capability brings in the customer's life. You have to evaluate this point. So all this evaluation has to be done before defining your value proposition. This is what is very important. What it brings for the customer, how it is beneficial for the customer, how it will connect with the customer. When I said you in the starting that it helps you connect with the customer. So let's understand this point as well. It helps customer develop pre-notion, first point. Customer understands before buying the product what value they will be deriving out of the product or service. So before buying the product, they know what value it will bring in their life. It helps customer understand the focus area of the company, where the company is focusing on, which value the company is focusing on. As I told you, like Volvo is focusing on what? It's focusing on safety. What Maggi is focusing on? Maggi is focusing on 2 minutes noodle, 2 minutes instant noodle. They are focusing on the time limit. Well, so how you can have your breakfast? You can have your breakfast, like you can have your breakfast ready in 2 minutes. What Maggi communicates in advertisement, and that is also a reality. That's why it's very much prevalent and famous in the bachelor's life and in the kids' life, because they can have their breakfast in very short time. Preparation method is easy. So this is what they are trying to bring value in terms of time. 2 minutes instant noodle. Volvo, safety features. Right. So the focus area of a company you can understand by its value proposition. Right. Also, somewhere customer can understand, or you can say it communicates about the psychographic segmentation. If you talk about the Apple's tagline, think different. when they are saying think different, it's clearly communicating to its customer that they are targeting for the innovators or early adopters, right? The people who believe in different. That's why, if you remember, whenever they are launching any product in the market, you'll find people are queuing up outside the retail chain to buy their product. There is a huge demand for their product. So this is what it talks about, right? So this is value proposition somewhere helps build that bridge of communication between a company and its customer, its target segment. It triggers the buying behavior, right? Customer understands what they are going to buy in terms of value. This is what it helps the things. It helps add recall value. Customer understands. Whenever customers are, it also, a value proposition is also having one point, that it helps in navigation process. It simplifies the navigation process. How? I will tell you. Like whenever any customers are searching for any product or any brand, in terms of value, what they are seeking for, then they can shortlist the companies in terms of value. Right? If your value proposition, the value you are trying to communicate with your customer fits with the customer's demand, then obviously it simplifies the navigation process. Customer can easily shortlist you in the bucket list whenever they are searching for the product in terms of value, what they are seeking for. So this is how value proposition helps. It's very important for a company to define it, because it's a relationship. Relationship has to be both way. Relationship demands reciprocal. There has to be reciprocity whenever any relationship is there. Reciprocity between customer and the company. Right? It has to be reciprocal. Then only it can sustain for the longer. It can sustain for the longer time, so that relationship can have the lasting influence. So here, this value proposition I discussed with you. I hope it would have given you the better clarity on it. We'll meet again. Till then, take care. Thank you so much. Thank you.